I'm William Haas, and let's clear up the USA view. LGBTQ plus Americans search for asylum in Canada after ICE shooting and rising anti-queer policies. Almost a year after Donald Trump's inauguration, queer Americans are increasingly considering safety beyond the U.S. borders. Trump has signed measures recognizing only two sexes, restricting gender-affirming care for trans youth under 19, eliminating DEI initiatives from the military, and declaring trans people, quote, unfit for military service, end quote. Those fears intensify after the killing of Renee Nicole Good, a 37-year-old mother, wife, and U.S. citizen who was shot by ICE agents in Minneapolis. The city confirmed she later died at the Hennepin County Medical Center. The shooting sparked protests and condemnation from Mayor Jacob Frey, who said, quote, ICE, get the out of Minneapolis. We don't want you here. Your stated purpose for being in the city is to create some kind of safety, but you're doing exactly the opposite. We will pursue justice, and we will do so as quickly as possible, end quote. GLAAD reported anti-LGBTQ plus incidences are rising between May 2024 and May 2025. 932 incidents were tracked down nationwide. Canada does not grant asylum based on queer persecution, though approval for Americans are rare. Immigration Advice Services says interest in moving to North growing, noting for U.S. citizens moving to Canada relatively straightforward, especially for skilled workers or family sponsorships. However, processing times can range from 6 months to 2 years, depending on the immigration route. This is just sad. I mean, look what we're coming to in this country like this. You know, everybody always wanted to migrate into the United States, and yep. We accepted everybody. Now it's like, you know, but our systems are so antiquated. You know, it's not really, you know, we need to upgrade our systems. Maybe instead of spending money on ICE, we spend money on internal services to get this taken care of. And there's no reason to pick on the LGBT. And this poor woman got killed. I mean, she's, you know, she left a kid behind and a wife, and actually 3 kids and a wife behind. It's just a shame that this is where our country's leading to.
And what I think what's even more sad, I heard recently about this, is that ICE agent is a federal employee, right? He's acting under federal rules. Mm-hmm. So there's an immunity, which really upsets me, because I don't know how much weight the mayor or whoever, I can't remember who that was, the mayor or the governor, somebody was saying we will bring charges. Well, I don't know.
They're not allowing them to be a part of any of the investigation, so they won't be able to.
So I feel really bad for the family and for the city as a whole.
Well, like, she can run away with her car and get out of there because she's fearful, but he's fearful for his life, so he shoots her in the face.
I know.
Yeah. That's the, you know, I mean, look, when LGBTQ plus Americans start Googling asylum in Canada, that's not drama, that's safety, okay? Mm-hmm. You know, policy isn't abstract when it gets people killed or terrified. We shouldn't have to choose between citizenship and just surviving, you know? If the message from your government is you don't belong, people will listen and start leaving.
Yep. Mm-hmm. That's true.
932 cases. That's about 2.5 a day. I mean,
wow.
That's absurd to even think about.
Yeah.
It's super sickening just to think about.
Okay, and look, and I look at you, Jason, okay, and you are my brown brother, and I adore you to pieces, right? But you don't walk around with your passport. You could get picked up right now leaving the studio because of how you look.
True.
You know, this is the world that we live in. I have friends who carry around their passport because they've been stopped on more than one occasion. And they literally just put their hands up because they're deathly afraid. The PTSD is real.
Alligator Alley. Yep. I've seen it many times going to St. Pete in that part of the state. And you'll see a lot of cars pulled over, and they are of Latin origin. The people that are on the ground, the police are at their car. It's very heartbreaking.
Yeah. It's more like the American Gestapo versus ICE.
Yeah,
you know, that's the real name. It should be. It should be the Gestapo.
Well, and just think about who are the ICE agents. They're people that didn't make it as a cop. Mm-hmm. You know, I mean, there is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by sharing them and subscribing to Queer News Tonight.